The Battle of Munford. The Battle of Munford took place in Munford, Alabama on Sunday, April 23, 1865. During the raid through the state by 1,500 Union Army cavalrymen under General John Croxton, part of the force participating in Wilson's raid. The Battle of Munford and a minor action at Hendersonville, North Carolina, on the same day were the last battles of the American Civil War east of the Mississippi River. The Confederate soldiers in the battle were described as convalescents, home guards, and pardoned deserters, while the Union cavalry was a veteran force armed with 7-shot Spencer repeating carbines. The Confederates were commanded by General Benjamin Jefferson Hill. Lieutenant Lewis Parsons had 2 cannons, which fired several rounds before they were overrun. The Union troops won the brief battle. Parsons was appointed provisional governor of Alabama in June after the war's end. The Union and Confederate soldiers killed that day are described by Arthur Rex Miller as the last to die in open combat by contending military forces. This is a quote by Captain Marshall Thatcher, the 2nd Michigan Cavalry. The last battle. Numerous battles have been written up as the last fight of the rebellion, without disputing in regard to the matter of it as a fact, not generally known that a battalion, the Sabre Battalion, of the 2nd Michigan Cavalry, under Brevet Major Whitmore, charged the force under General Hill near Talladega, Alabama, on the 23rd of April, 1865, and was supported by the regiment and brigade, scattering the entire Confederate force and capturing the artillery and many prisoners. This was 14 days after the surrender at Appomattox, and therefore quite late enough after a cessation of hostilities. The next day, the country was filled with small parties returning home, a sadly broken down people. Lieutenant Andrew Jackson Buttram was the last Confederate soldier to die in the battle east of the Mississippi River at the Battle of Munford. As we conclude our exploration of the Battle of Munford, let's reflect on the lessons we can learn from this pivotal moment in American history. The bravery, sacrifice, and determination displayed during the battle serve as a reminder of the complexities and challenges of war. In the end, the Battle of Munford reminds us of the importance of understanding our past, honoring the sacrifices of those who came before us, and striving for a more peaceful future. Thank you for listening and taking a walk into the historical context and significance of this event. The final act, understanding the surrender at Citronelle. Today we're going to explore the last significant event in Alabama history, the surrender at Citronelle. In May 1865, Confederate forces under General Richard Taylor surrendered to Union forces led by General Edward Canby in Citronelle, Alabama. Imagine the relief and uncertainty felt by soldiers and civilians as the war drew to a close. The surrender at Citronelle marked one of the final acts of the American Civil War. Let's dive into the historical context and significance of this event. The surrender. The surrender at Citronelle was a crucial step towards ending the Civil War. General Taylor's decision to surrender his forces, which numbered around 8,000 to 10,000 soldiers, marked a significant milestone in the war's conclusion. As we reflect on the events leading up to the surrender, let's examine the roles of key figures like General Taylor and General Canby. General Richard Taylor led the Confederate forces in the Department of Alabama, Mississippi, and East Louisiana. General Edward Canby led the Union forces that accepted the surrender. The aftermath and legacy. The surrender of Citronelle had far-reaching consequences, contributing to the eventual surrender of the Confederate forces across the South. Today we remember the soldiers who fought and surrendered, honoring their sacrifice and bravery. The historical significance. The end of the Civil War. The surrender at Citronelle marked one of the final acts of the war. Reconstruction. The surrender paved way for Reconstruction efforts in the South. Reflection and conclusion. As we conclude our exploration of the surrender at Citronelle, Let's reflect on the lessons we can learn from this pivotal moment in American history. The bravery, sacrifice, and leadership displayed during the surrender serve as a reminder of the complexities and challenges of war and its aftermath. In the end, the surrender at Citronelle reminds us of the importance of understanding our past, honoring their sacrifices, honoring our history, and striving for a more peaceful future. Thank you for joining me on this journey through history and the surrender of Citronelle. Have a good day, guys.